started, I thought we were going to learn a very valuable lesson one way or the other. And unfortunately, we learned it. I hope we've learned it. And we didn't get the result that we wanted by any stretch. But that team played with tremendous will, and we knew they'd be tough. This is certainly not any type of thing of anybody overlooking Fort Wayne. First off, our guys know some of their guys, obviously, and I have great respect for them, great respect for John and the players in his program. So it wasn't that. They just absolutely came out and put us back on our heels from the beginning. But I don't think any of us ever felt like we weren't going to get back in it. I know I didn't feel that way. But we did get back in it, but we were never able to close the door. And it's very easy to say, well, you shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. And probably right, but we were. And the bottom line is you got to try to find a way to win it. And we did a lot of different things to try to stem the tide. But the bottom line is they executed better. And which is highly disappointing to me, they passed the ball quicker and much better than we did tonight, and that's not a good recipe for us on our end. But we were not as locked into the personnel and what we needed to get done with the blockouts and things of that nature. With all that being said, we make our free throws. We have a couple other plays. It's a different result, but it wasn't. They earned it. We didn't, and I had no illusions of that our leadership was where it needed to be, or that we were as mature as we needed to be when we were winning at Kansas and Hawaii, and didn't get caught up as a coach in all the hype on the outside, just as I'm not going to get caught up in whatever comes our way now. It's the whole bottom line is how much better can you get, how much are you willing to improve and work, and can we, starting with me, look at it and say, okay, this is what has to get better. These are what our Achilles heels are. Let's fix them gradually, because there is no real break in the season where you get to sit back and say, okay, well, we'll have a couple weeks to figure this out. But those are the things that we have to do, and that's what we'll work on.
Questions? Zach?
You talk a little bit, you mentioned the passing, but just what do you feel like? I guess you feel like you guys couldn't get kind of consistent offense moving. Was it not being able to get out in transition the way you wanted? Was it the ball not moving the way you wanted?
No, we knew going in we needed, the game was giving us the inside. It was just giving us the fact that we could get into the post. It wasn't a matter of we couldn't play as fast or things like that. That wasn't the case. The case was taking what the game was giving us. But frankly, as much as we posted, there were times that we missed the post, and there were times that we didn't continue to seal or come across the other side. And we just didn't do a good enough job of that. The ball didn't move as crisply and as accurately and from side to side or ball reversal wise as much as it needed to. And I'll get that fixed. You know, I'm definitely will. But I'm more concerned about the times that we didn't block out or our ball screen coverages. This was not a game of really getting ready for a ton of different sets. There were sets, obviously, but it was more a game of getting ready for the ball screen game, for what their personnel tendencies were, and then for when the shot went up to really be good on the glass. And we didn't do as good a job over 45 minutes of that.
OG seemed noticeably.
Yeah, I should cover that. OG is sick, and we tried, and I'm not sure what it is, but it started this afternoon, and so we certainly tried to push him through there, but he didn't have it, and rather than try to force it, we tried to go with it, So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if I thought he could have helped us, I certainly would have played him, but the way he was feeling, and then the way that he was playing when he was on the court. I didn't see trying to fight. It wasn't set up for him to really fight through that. So I trusted that he didn't feel good, and we'll move from there.
Tom, defensively down the stretch and near the end of regulation, and certainly during the end of regulation, you really picked up the pace and played some zone. What was the key to that?
Changing the defenses. I mean, we needed to get the penetration stopped. All right, and they were moving the ball quicker than we were rotating. It's really what it boils down to, defensively. And our ball screen. Mo Evans is very good, and we knew that. I mean, Bryson Scott is very good. John Conchar, very good. I mean, John's an excellent coach, and it's not a fluke, the record that they have, and it's not about levels. Those guys, and I don't think we ever quite grasped. And this is probably the youth of this team, and the fact that I've said this, and I know it's hard to relate to this if you don't see it on a daily basis. But and it's really easy to get it looked at the other way when you win a game like we did with Kansas. We have nobody on our team that's ever been responsible for somebody else, and we don't. I mean, we don't have a group of. They like each other, get along well, but we don't have a group of guys that can take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and lead the other guys through the thick and thin. We don't have that, and it's not coming overnight. Right? It's got to be built, and so in that situation. Because our communication defensively wasn't good, and we just needed to stem the tide, and I thought it worked pretty well for us. We rebounded better out of it. We challenged shots, and I'll watch it. You know, I don't have a great grasp on the last 3-4 minutes of regulation and the overtime as far as what went wrong, what didn't go right. You know, those types, what went right, what went wrong. But I'll look at that in the film, and we'll make the adjustments from there.
You're driving the ball a lot toward the end of the game, and you know you weren't getting calls.
Yeah, we didn't make the next pass. I mean, we needed to make the next pass.
Right.
And I'm ashamed of that, to be honest with you. That's not how we play. You know, we wanted to drive the ball, but our game is drive and kick. Our game is not. And I'm just going to leave it at that. You watch the game. We got to get a lot better, and we got to get a lot better from that. The drive was set up to create the help. If we didn't get the basket, I mean, if we couldn't get the one-on-one and the help came, make the pass. That's how we play every day. That's how we've played exclusively, and we got away from that. And so, with a short bench tonight, unfortunately, I'm going to take full responsibility for that in the sense that we didn't move the ball the way that we needed to, and I'll get it fixed.
Coach, you say that there's not a guy that's a bull by the horn sort of guy. Is there a guy or a group of guys that you're looking to become those sort of leaders on the team?
Well, I don't know if that's even a good analogy with when I use that. There's just, it takes, it's, well, you'd like to come from your upperclassmen, right? But it's harder than it seems because when you don't have enormous confidence in your own personal game, okay? And we got some young guys. I mean, they have not done it over a period of time, right? The injured guys, same thing. I mean, not done it over a period of time. You got to be able to get out of yourself a little bit and make sure you're really concerned about the other guys, holding them accountable. And all teams go through this that I've been a part of when they don't have the one or two guys that just absolutely are built that way. It's very hard to be hard on your friends and be demanding of them. But we have no choice. I mean, that's part of the game. And the quicker that they understand it's so much better and easier coming from them than it is from the coach and the coaching staff is when you really start to take shape. And we did last year. I mean, we took shape last year with it. But again, it takes longer than people realize in some cases. Some cases for some teams it doesn't. I've had some teams that those guys are natural. I mean, they're natural. People are going to flock to them in the sense of what they say. This team's not like that. So to answer your question, I don't know if it's one or two guys. So what we look at is it's got to be collective. Because you can't put somebody in a role that they're not capable of being in, but at the same time, you don't want to ever stifle anybody from getting into that. So, but that just adds to it. We didn't make enough plays to win the game. You know, whether we're a team of leaders or a team of quiet guys, doesn't make any difference. We make enough plays to win the game. They did.
Coach James Blackman had 5 points in the second half. What would you attribute that to?
I'll have to watch film.
You just talked about Zach McRoberts. I mean, has he made those much a stride to? Yeah,
Zach has got competitive instincts, and we weren't as competitive tonight as we needed to be, and he's done a good job. I mean, I started him that first exhibition game against Hope for a reason, to give him some confidence, like, hey, you really belong here, you know, and hopefully this will do wonders for him moving forward, because when you're new like that and you haven't played in a year and you've jumped a level like this, sometimes you can be your own worst critic, which he probably is. But he made us better. He had a plus 15, I believe he did. JD, is that right?
Yeah.
He had a plus 15. I mean, we had guys with -12 and -13s and zeros and -5s. He had a +15. I'd say we'll hopefully be able to build on that with him.
Okay, Coach.
Thank you.